Hello, everyone. This is Wes Schroll. I'm the founder and CEO of Fetch Rewards. And I wanted to take a little time today to, first of all, thank you again for being such great pilot users. You guys have stuck with us through the thick and the thin. Appreciate all the emails of support. It's very clear that what we're doing is going to be something that will take off, that customers absolutely love. And I know one of the areas that everyone's been frustrated with is just the speed of processing with the receipts from when you submit it. And I'm the first one to tell you that I'm frustrated. I have some receipts that are sitting out there as well too. But I wanted to take a second to explain a little bit more about why that's the case and why we are so close to getting that through, and just need a little bit more patience so that we have a little bit more time to make sure that the system catches up and gets up to speed. I know a lot of you have been seeing more receipts start to come through. That's great. It's only getting better from here. And we definitely do see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just really hard to know exactly what day it's going to be able to truly catch up. In the meantime as well, we are going to be issuing everyone 250 points for every receipt that they submit, even when it hasn't been processed, for the month of April, just as, again, a sign of thank you for continuing to support the program and continuing to submit receipts, which is honestly helping us solve the problem, because we need more receipts to be able to train our machine learning algorithm that we actually work with a partner on to develop faster. So really, when you break it down, it comes down to two main things. We need accuracy and we need quantity. If we have good accuracy, meaning that we take our time up front and we process the receipts, we make sure everything's being matched correctly, we train the system to know what each receipt looks like. And if we have quantity, giving it numerous examples of what that receipt looks like, so the machine starts to learn what it sees when it sees it without having to have a human tell it, that all equals speed. And right now, again, we're part of a pilot period. So we've only invited a small section of customers across the US to help us test this out. Right now, we have live users in all 50 states, which is really exciting. And again, we actually blew past the number of customers we were intending to invite. But so far, I've actually put up a waiting queue right now, and that's starting to fill up with hundreds of people waiting to get in. So the other thing that we need to do is, when we have accuracy and quantity, what we're looking at is the actual receipt here. There's a couple main components to a receipt that we're trying to capture. First, you have the store logo, you have the date, time, and address, and then you have all the individual items that you are buying as a customer in that store, and then you also have your total. So what we do need to do is we need to capture all of that information, and you have to remember every receipt from each store is different. This logo could be up at the top, it could be down at the bottom, the address, same with it could be anywhere in here. Each of the items may be described differently. So item one may just be an abbreviation that we have to then try to figure out, is that this item, that item, and then we can actually match and award you your points, and we can also see the prices that are paid for. Prices can get confusing too, because if there's coupons added in there, store discounts, all of those are on different line items. So what we do right now is we actually use technology to be able to read this off, and that's why it needs to be on a good black background, and the receipt needs to be as flat as possible, because the machine has a much better job, or does a much better job of being able to read off all of these points of information when we have just those couple of criteria met. From there, once we actually scan and read all of these off, we then put it into a processing queue. A machine is able to then read it, and with a certain level of accuracy, tell us what that item is, how much it was paid for. If we don't hit that certain level of accuracy because we haven't seen this receipt enough, or we just don't know because it was crinkled and it was hard to read that, then we actually have a human that comes in and intervenes. They have to actually look at it and tell the system what it was. The nice part is, as we do that more and more, the machine then learns that and doesn't have to ask in the future. So if you're ever being asked, what was this product that you just bought, you're actually training the machine. So that response that you're giving is actually being put to use, and all of our other users are benefiting from that if they shop at that store and buy that product. So now what I wanted to do is give you a quick example of what it would look like to scan a good receipt. And this is just best practices right now to help train the machine the best that we possibly can. And again, it only gets better and better with time as we get more and more receipts coming through. So I'm gonna have you follow me over here real quick. And just to give you a quick example, so if I have my receipt here, you can see that it's folded. It's been obviously stuffed in my pocket for a little bit. What I'm gonna do is actually just take it, I just run it along the edge, and now I'm just flattening it out a little bit more. So you can quickly do that. And with the flattened out receipt, you can now just set it there. What we actually do around the office to make sure we have a clear background, and you have a black t-shirt here that we laid out, or just a black piece of paper, whatever the case is, black, solid black countertop, you put it here. Now the machine can actually see these, can identify the edges
and it knows exactly where it's reading from. Small little crinkles like this aren't going to majorly affect it, but if there's any lumps or mountains that you see, that's going to be a slight bit of an issue. So just do that real quick, put it there, take your picture. So that's all you need to do. And once you've done that, you want to get it lined up through the guides. If anything, opt to get a little closer rather than further away from the guides, just because it gives the accuracy, the clarity that the machine needs to then be able to actually read this receipt off. Once we have that, then we're able to process it through. So again, this is just to help us train it a little bit better. So again, we greatly appreciate you guys continuing to bear with us. We'll continue to give you updates. We do think we're really, really close in solving this and having all of the receipts processed. But as I mentioned, in the meantime, we're going to give you 250 points for every receipt that you submit through the month of April. And then we can also guarantee you we will process every receipt that's still in our backlog. But just remember, if you are asked to help clarify an item or anything like that, you're going to get rewarded with points for doing that, and you're helping us train the entire system for when we actually do a nationwide rollout. So again, Wes Schroll here saying thank you so much for bearing with us. The entire team here at Fetch, who's over there in another room, about 35 of us working out of Madison, Chicago, our partners over in California as well with another team of about 25 people, all working around the clock to make this happen. And it wouldn't be possible without you guys continuing to send us receipts so we can continue to process and train it. Thank you again. Really appreciate it.